Right, folks, it's Friday, and it just so happens to be Friday the 13th. But didn't worry, the worst thing that's gonna happen to you today is sitting through the next week while listening to me ramble on about Celtic. And I promise, I'll try and make it worth your time. Now, we've got a few things to dive into, but the big one, the headline grabber, if you like, is a name we've not really touched on before. Benjamin Nygren, or as he says it himself, Benjamin Negra. Get used to it, because if things go the way they're looking, that name might be getting shouted across Celtic Park soon. So let's talk transfers, because that's what everyone's been buzzing about. Celtic have been strongly linked with Nygren in the last few days. He's a 23-year-old Swedish playmaker, currently doing his thing at FC Nordsjælland in Denmark. And let me tell you that he's not just some random name pulled out of a hat. This lad's got pedigree, and it sounds like things are already moving. Word is that Celtic have been given the green light to speak with him, and while there's plenty of competition, think Bundesliga clubs some interest from the MLS even. The likes of Anderlecht and Copenhagen sniffing around. It's clear Celtic are keen. What makes this interesting is that Nygren's contract's up at the end of the calendar year. That means Nordsjælland are looking to cash in now rather than lose him for nothing in a few months. Rumors suggest he could be available for around 2 million quid, which for a player of his profile, experience and current form is nothing short of a bargain. Now I know some folk might be thinking, is this a panic buy? Or are we just grabbing the next flashy name? But if you've watched this guy even for just a few minutes, it's hard not to be impressed. Let's rewind a bit and talk about where this lad came from. Nygren started out at IFK Göteborg in Sweden, his hometown club. Didn't rack up a ton of appearances there, but even with limited game time, his potential was obvious. So much so that when he was just 17, Genk in Belgium dropped about 3 million quid on him. That's serious money for a teenager. He scored on his debut there, but overall his time in Belgium didn't quite pan out the way folks hoped. After a couple of underwhelming seasons, he was loaned out to Heerenveen in the Netherlands. First season, decent. Second season, he faded a bit. Eventually, he found his way to Denmark, and that's where things really started clicking. At Nordsjælland, he spent the last 3.5 years developing into the kind of player we're now hearing Celtic are after. And fair play to Nordsjælland, they've got a track record of nurturing serious talent. Think Mohamed Kudus at West Ham, Simon Adingra at Brighton, and even Rangers' own Mohamed Diamande. All of them came through, or were developed there. A lot of that's tied into their connection with the Right to Dream Academy in Ghana. But regardless, it's working. Nygren really came into his own last season. 15 goals from midfield. That's right, from midfield. Only 2 players scored more in the entire Danish league, and they were both strikers. That kind of output is exactly what Celtic's midfield's been crying out for. We've had spells where the creativity just wasn't there, especially when Rio Hatat was out. The final games of the season showed that. We lacked a spark. Bernardo Holm, even Paulo Bernardo, they've had flashes, but consistency has been a problem. Nygren looks like the kind of player who could change that. And let's not gloss over the fact that he's now a full Sweden international. This year alone, he's featured in all 4 of Sweden's friendlies, starting 3 of them and bagging goals in a couple. One against Northern Ireland, a wee taping, and another absolute peach against Hungary, curling it in with his left foot into the top corner. And he's not shy either. Gave a bit back to the Hungry Ultras after scoring, which tells you he's got a bit of swagger about him. You like to see it. I did what everyone does and had a look at his YouTube comps. Usual disclaimers of course, but even with those in mind, he looks the part. Graceful on the ball, always scanning left-footed and proper one-sided in that way. Everything goes through that left peg. But if you can ping crossfield balls and create chances like he does, then why not? The man's got a wand of a left foot, and those floated passes he makes are the kind that land perfectly in stride. And let's be honest, we've missed someone who can do that regularly. Comparisons! A few names get thrown around. Some say Kai Havertz, which might sound ambitious, but in terms of style and body movement, it's not miles off. Tall a bit. Gangly when he runs, but elegant at the same time. Someone even mentioned Charles de Ketelaere. But the best comparison from a Celtic point of view might just be Tom Rogic. That same kind of languid, grace-tall frame glides past players without looking like he's sprinting. Nygren gives off that kind of vibe. He's not your typical stocky midfielder. He's got presence awareness and, crucially, end product. In his own words, he sees himself as the link between midfield and attack. And that's gold dust for Celtic right now. A connector. Someone who can carry the ball, pick a pass, and arrive in the box with intent. The kind of player who makes others around him look better. Now, obviously, nothing's confirmed yet. It's all talk until pens are on paper. But from everything we've seen and heard, this could be a signing that genuinely lifts the level of the squad. There's also the bigger picture to consider. Does bringing in Nygren mean the end of the road for someone like Lennon Miller, who we've also been heavily linked with maybe not? But when you look at the reported fee for Miller and compare it with what Nygren might cost, it's easy to see why the club would lean towards the Swedish lad. Proven at a decent level international. Experience, goals and assists from midfield. It ticks a lot of boxes. Now, as we wait to see how this one unfolds, there's another wee thing that popped up. The Newcastle friendly, or more specifically the press conference that got held to try and shift a few more tickets for it. Let's be honest, the fact that we're doing presses just to promote a preseason game kind of tells its own story. Ticket sales haven't exactly been flying, and from what I saw online, only parts of the stadium are even open just now. The Jockstein lower tier, maybe a bit of the North Stand. Upper tiers haven't even been released yet. To be fair, Newcastle are bringing a big crowd. I heard they've sold out their allocation already, and they might even get more. Some say up to 10,000 traveling fans. So the atmosphere might still be decent, but Celtic Park won't be close to full, and that's a shame. Especially when you consider this is a club that could have easily added the game to season tickets as a thank you gesture to the fans. Instead, it's being treated like a moneymaker, and that never goes down well. And then there's the whole Adidas trophy angle. Yes, apparently that's a thing. Celtic can complete a weird preseason treble if they win it. Add it to the Super Cup and the Como Cup or whatever it is. It's daft. But hey, a bit of silverware is never a bad thing, even if it's more for the laughs than the legacy. We also had Stephen McManus and Shay Given wheeled out to talk up the game. God love them. They gave it a go. McManus, always good value, spoke a lot about the B team and youth development. He's passionate about bringing through young talent, and he's right. The leap from B team to first team is massive. But seeing players like Kieran Tierney come back gives everyone a lift. It's important for the youngsters to have role models, and Tierney's journey, going down south, making a name, and returning still in his prime. That's the dream path. Shay Given, meanwhile, had his own wee moment of nostalgia. Talked about being on the bench as a teenager for an Old Firm game, praying he wouldn't have to go on. You can imagine at 17 years old, knees knocking, hoping your keeper stays on his feet. But even now, years on from his playing days, you can tell Celtic Park still means something to him. Driving past familiar spots, remembering the old days. Even the training routines, it all came flooding back. And that kind of emotional pull, it's real. It's why players come back. It's why Tierney's return hits different. It's not just about ability, it's about connection, about understanding what it means to wear the jersey. Now McManus made a good point. The B team isn't about results. It's about development. It's about turning raw talent into first team regulars. And when you've got guys like Callum McGregor, James Forrest, now Tierney, all having walked that path, you've got a blueprint. The challenge, of course, is bridging that gap. It's massive. And it's not just about talent. It's about mentality, professionalism, learning to do the right things on and off the pitch. That's what they're drilling into these young lads now. Not everyone will make it, but the ones who buy in, who commit, they give themselves a real shot. And Tierney coming back. That's not just a feel-good story. It's massive for the dressing room, massive for the academy lads, and massive for the fans. Because when someone like that chooses to return, not at the tail end of their career, but with plenty still in the tank, it shows how strong the pull of Celtic can be. It's a reminder that we're not just a stepping stone. We're a destination in our own right. McManus also touched on recruitment more broadly. Said the squad's in a good place, which is fair, but he also admitted the first team staff will be looking to strengthen in key areas. And with a model built around signing young, developing them, then selling smartly, Nygren fits perfectly. He's young but experienced. Has had ups and downs but has come out the other side better for it. Those are the kind of players that thrive here. So to bring it back to Nygren, this could be a serious bit of business, the kind of signing that not only adds immediate quality, but also resale value down the line. He's already turning heads. Internationally, and if we don't act now, someone else will snap him up. And let's be honest, if we let him slip through our fingers, it could be one of those we look back on and regret. Oh, and before I forget, there was a wee post that caught some eyes. Michel-Andre Balikwisha player over in Nice posted a photo from the airport with a wee hourglass emoji and the caption, "Here we go again." Now does that mean anything? Probably not. But it's silly season and every wee hint gets magnified. Just one of those things that makes you raise an eyebrow. Have a laugh and move on. So between Nigerian chatter preseason friendlies and old faces making a return, there's a lot bubbling away right now. This might just be the calm before the storm. Because if Celtic can pull off a few smart moves in the window and get players like Nigerian through the door, we might be in for a proper exciting campaign ahead. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. There's a fresh rumble in the East End of Glasgow, and it's got the Hoops faithful chattering. Word on the street, and not just any street, mind you, but those running right up to the gates of Celtic Park, is that Spanish maestro ISCO could be pulling on the green and white hoops this season. That ISCO, the same one that danced through La Liga defenses with Real Madrid and lifted the Champions League trophy more times than most folk lift a pint on Derby Day. While nothing has been confirmed officially by the club, at the time of writing, the whispers have grown louder in recent days. Reports out of Spain and some bold tweets from fans claiming to have spotted him near the airport suggest that the 32-year-old playmaker might have just signed a 2-year deal with Celtic. If true, it'd be one of the most stunning moves in recent Scottish football memory. ISCO, whose full name is Francisco Roman Alarcón Suarez, try fitting that on the back of a shirt, has been a free agent since the end of his stint with Real Betis. Though some had written him off, those who've watched him lately say the man still got magic in his boots. The kind that could tear through a packed SPFL midfield like a hot knife through butter. Of course, Parkhead has been no stranger to continental flair over the years. But the possible arrival of ISCO would mark a real statement of intent, especially with the Champions League group stages looming. The big question is whether manager Brendan Rodgers is looking for someone to unlock tight defenses, or if this is more about leadership and swagger in the dressing room. Whatever the case, fans are already dreaming. Social media is ablaze with mock-ups of ISCO in the iconic strip. And pub talk has taken a sharp detour from transfer worries to thoughts of what a midfield trio of McGregor, Hatate, and ISCO might look like. Will it happen? Only time will tell. But if the rumors are true, Celtic Park might soon have a new matador to cheer, and Glasgow's about to get a bit more Olay. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.